Hello classmates, are you ready for chapter 8? Of course you are. You have a textbook open to page 236. You have something to write on and something to write with. And as usual, you will see some movements in the background and hear some weird noises. Those are my currently 3 foster cats that are having fun. All right, let's go on this wild ride. This one is all about the new products. And of course, it tells us basically what our project part 2 is going to be about, because we need to understand our consumers and the markets and the competitors in order to be successful with our new products. And we need to understand what the customers want. And that's why we're going on this wonderful journey in our project part 2. Now, this is basically the preview of this whole chapter, from the idea generation to how we figure out which ideas to toss and which one to move forward with. You did that in our project part 1. Then, of course, we need to do some more testing and figure out how are we going to position it, how to make money on this, then how are we actually going to create a supply chain in order to develop the product. We need to test drive the whole thing and finally, put price tags on, etc., etc. And yes, most of these will be included in our final project document. So let's talk about the idea generation. You have done this in project part 1, and you have used an intrapreneurial approach to all this. It means that you basically have within your company thought about what could be a new product, what could you do. But there are others. One that is getting more and more used now is the external one, where we are basically asking our customers, so what else would you like? Give us some new ideas, whether this is Oreo requesting new flavor ideas, whether it's Ben & Jerry's, they're open to new product ideas. It's everywhere. How to do this? Well, there are many different ideas, almost as many as there are different people. Probably the ones I use most often, or have used most often, is the one where we start with a problem and then come up with a solution. And that's what I hope you did when you came up with your 6 product ideas. You said, what is the one thing that bothers me? What is a problem for me, and how can I solve that? Think of my litter box, cat litter box thing. The other one that is very useful is the mind mapping, especially for those of us who are very visual. The trick there is to really just let it flow and let it go wherever it needs to go. I have a hard time with that, I have to admit that. And the third one that I find to be rather successful is when we put 2 seemingly random things together, like a gas station and a burger place. That's actually how the drive-in burger place came to be. Isn't that interesting? So, but you already have your ideas, right? So you then try to figure out which one to keep and which one to leave behind. And our process, probably, if yours was at all like mine, was just basically thinking about, does it excite me? Do I want to move? Do I want to spend more time with this particular idea? In the business world, we, of course, also have to focus on, is this going to make us money? And this is where the RWW of screening framework comes in. I am tossing in some trends to watch in 2018. New product or product line extensions or so. Athleisure is going to stay big, get even bigger. So what about the product idea? Well, that means, anything goes. However, in order to make this into a real concept idea, it needs to be connected to the company. So remember the example I gave with the Harley Davidson and the cake decoration thing? Yeah, that was one of those that definitely didn't fly. Then we develop the concept, where this is where the idea is really getting fleshed out, if you have heard that term. And then finally, we're going to run it by some customers and see what they think. Now, concept testing means that we are doing sometimes focus groups, sometimes just randomly asking people on the street. Sometimes we go to something like Costco or a Safeway and offer up little bites to test things out. The potential customers, to tell us about their experience. The problem is with some of those where we're getting more hypothetical, and then of course those who are testing, they don't want to hurt our feelings, etc., etc. There are all kinds of biases there. Another trend in 2018, backpacks. They're really in for a do-over, and I have seen really beautiful backpacks at DBC. Marketing strategy development. This is where, of course, we need to have the statement for the strategy. And that is, of course, something that you will be developing. Then we need to start thinking about, where can we sell it and for how much? So this is where we need to look at how much are going to the parts that we have to use going to cost us. What are our competitors charging for these things? And is this going to be a sustainable strategy? In other words, is the money going to keep coming in or what? Now, the business analysis part is where some math comes in. I am de-emphasizing that part in our class, but if you have looked in the back of our book, there is a marketing by the numbers chapter on this. So if you are interested in, again, calculating the return on investments, or more the ROI that I introduced in the first chapter, go ahead and look at that. Break-even analysis is another one that is very, very useful. All of that is in our book. The product development is where we are looking at, okay, what material works best for what, and then we have to get to the test marketing, and that is kind of the fun part, right? So most products are first introduced in a smaller geographic area, and then they do an iteration. They do, okay, how do we need to change it in order to make it better? And then it gets rolled out in the larger area. It's all about testing, 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 not just the product, but also the marketing plan, because a plan is a theoretical construct. So how is it actually working once we put the product with a customer? And it's very expensive, costs a lot of time, costs a lot of money. There are by now alternatives to the test marketing with actual consumers out there, and those are simulations, and some of them are very good. The algorithms, we can do those. We can do like Second Life, virtual reality, all kinds of things are available now. So, and this will help reduce the costs. The flame lamps are getting bigger and bigger. I see them everywhere now, Cost Plus, Target. So when the new product is in the market, we need to decide when to launch, where to launch, and of course, we know where our customers are and we need to go there. So if we want to sell diamond jewelry, we probably don't want to sell that at a gas station. So we need to have all this in mind. And this is our last slide for this quick lecture here, which is all about the product life cycle, because very much like a person, the products have the life cycle too. What I really find fascinating about this is that how the money part goes below zero as far as revenue is concerned in the first two phases here. The development, well, we have to invest, right? And introduction, we have to let consumers know that it's on the market. So we have to invest a lot of money. And then finally, going into the profits here. So it's really a very interesting chapter. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.